It's hump day and it's time for the happy chat. Here we are, hump day, happy chat. I'm Valerie Shepard, founder and CEO of the Hartley Center for Mindfulness and Self-Mastery. And the happy chat is our opportunity to transmit information and activate within you that part of you that is the magnificent essence that you are to bring into the world. Self-mastery is the avenue. Mastering you in your life so that you can exquisitely manage whatever your life brings your way. Self-mastery is the avenue to experiencing more bliss, more inner peace, more happiness, more belonging, more connection, more satisfaction and fulfillment, more calm, more ease, more grace. Interesting that can come, all of that can come from this place of mastering you in your life so that you can exquisitely manage whatever your life brings your way, knowing that your life is going to bring to you that which you need to create the best life. So situations in our lives are actually happening for us. It's happening for you so that you can master yourself, mastering the situation. This big learning academy of life. And I'm here with the Hump Day Happy Chat to give you some tips and tools and guidance along the way. And ideally, you're not just listening to them. Ideally, you're putting them into practice. That's called embodiment. Ideally, you're actually activating within you that which supports you to go be it, to be it in your life. It's the being of it. It's the doing it. It's where the rubber meets the road, where boots on the ground, where you're actually behaving and being the person that is applying the tools and techniques that we talk about in the Happy Chat. I'm so excited every time I do one of these. I'm so grateful as well because my topics are coming from you all. So I'm just asking questions. What are you dealing with? What would you like help with? And I'm getting some beautiful input. So thank you. Thank you to everyone who's answering the surveys, engaging in my posts, and letting me know how I can serve you better. That's my raison d'être, as we would say en français. It's my reason for being. So here at the Hartley Center, it's about that. How can we create more peace, love, and joy on the freedom? Kind of a big mission. Oh, I can feel that energy. That's a big expansive energy on the planet. Multitudes shifting from fear to love. Multitudes raising their vibration into the highest levels of tolerance and compassion and unconditional love and gratitude all the time, no matter what's showing up. How do we create a society of connection instead of division? And so my fervent prayer is that these little opportunities, these little videos give you an opportunity to be one of those people who's on the lift side of the equation. So I would love it if you give me feedback. Feedback helps. So if you are watching live, I'd love to know that you're there. So say hello. That would be awesome for me to know you're out there playing with me, especially joining me live. That's so special. And it's also very special to see that people are watching the replay. So if you could do hashtag replay, let me know that you're there. I'll send you a note saying thank you. And especially if you have questions or comments, or you don't like, well, that doesn't make sense, or, well, that's interesting, but I don't know how to apply it in my actual life. I like that story, but I can't see the connection to me. Those are all valid, beautiful, lovely comments, and those get us to go deeper. And I love going deeper. And maybe we can create a room in my here in the Bliss Collective, and we'll talk more about it. All kinds of things like that are possible when you engage. And sharing your actual experiences can help others. Sort of see themselves through your eyes. As they're going through their bliss quest, you know, they can go, oh, wow, I get that. I've felt that. Now, how can I do it? So we're a community. And the community objective is that we're on a mission to raise the vibration of the planet, to create more peace, love, joy, and freedom for everyone, starting with us. Because wherever we go, what we are thinking and feeling and believing are habitual patterns, are habitual practices of thought, feeling, word, deed. Those habitual practices create a vibration, and that vibrational energy goes out into the universe, and you can feel it. The more you awaken to the energy that's going on inside of you, you come into a right relationship with it. And by right, I don't mean right or wrong. I mean one where you understand what your energy is telling you, what the vibrations that you feel, what they are telling you about you, from you, to you, for you. That's what self-mastery is. It's knowing you. Then we can go out into the world, bring our best selves to all situations, and create more peace, love, joy, and freedom on the planet. So let's get into today's topic. Does your fear serve you, or does it stop you? And a lot of people are going, how can fear serve me? Well, it does, and we'll talk about that. And this is all about fear and anxiety. It came up multiple times when we asked, what are the top topics that you want to talk about? Fear and anxiety, over and over. And I personally love talking about fear. And I think you should love talking about it too. And I applaud you for asking me to cover it in the Hump Day Happy Chat. And I encourage and invite you to actually open yourself up, your inner self, to release yourself from fear that's holding you back in any aspect of your life. And releasing yourself isn't telling the fear to sit down, shut up, get away from me. That's not what I'm talking about. Although there will be plenty of people who may be saying that's the way that you deal with it. That's not what I cover. It's not what I teach in my book. It's not anywhere. It's not what I'm practicing in my life. What I'm practicing in my life is a way to allow myself to evolve my relationship with my own fears, to understand them better, to make knowing them and hearing from them and getting into a deep, intimate relationship with them my prime objective in terms of having a life in which periodically I get stopped by fear. I feel anxiety. I feel like I need to worry about something. I need to practice this energy of worrying about something, which is turning something over and 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 over in this big, powerful brain of mine, to the point where I don't know which way is up or which way is forward, and I'm stuck in a not so nice place. When you think about today's fears, like today in the here and now, your fear that you're feeling today likely comes from some memory, some negative past experience that you had, situations that were created that you experienced and that you're holding on to and you can't get beyond. And the only reason you can't get beyond them is because you're practicing the behavior of hanging on to them. So that creates a struggle, a tussle. And the fear is very powerful and it often wins. And if you're like me, you're not even completely consciously aware of how pervasive the fear might be. And boy, that's a sticky wicket. I had no idea how much of my decisions to do this versus that, or do nothing at all, were actually driven from subconscious and unconscious fear. The icebergs below the surface thought, the ideas that I had about why I shouldn't do this, what I call an intellectual alibi. That's not mine. That's it's a psychological term, I believe. I didn't create it, but I use it all the time. My brain, I fashion, and I mean fashion, I create an alibi for why I'm not doing something or why I am doing something that's intellectual in nature, and it rises above the actual level of the fear, which is emotional. not intellectual, it's emotional. And so when we allow our interpretations from past experiences to create the thing that stops us in our tracks, it's really past coming to the present, and it's not serving us. We really, I encourage and invite you to go deeper into it. Because wherever you go, there you are. Confucius saying, one of my favorites, wherever you go, there you are, which means you cannot outrun yourself. You might keep saying, oh, I'm not going to listen to that fear. And then you might look back in retrospect and see that every time you said that, the fear won. Because there's a better way, a more optimized way for you to engage with your fear. You can transform its effect over you. You can't transform the situation that created it. Whatever happened that caused you fear, it happened. It's not about pretending that it didn't. It's not about ignoring it. It's not about telling that part of you, a wounded, tender part of you, to sit down and shut up. It's not about that. It's about creating a positive and supportive relationship that has superiority over the fear, so that the fear doesn't control you. You have a positive relationship with it that actually supports and serves you to take massive action forward in your life, rather than having the fear shrink you, contract you into living a much smaller life, into a more debilitating experience. That's what I was living, even though I had lots of success, really awesome things in my life. I still was living a small life because of subconscious, unconscious, emotional fear holding me back. And I want to acknowledge one of my mentors, Ryan Magic, who has a methodology that he has called the CORE method, C-O-R. And I love the way he teaches about this topic. He's got amazing slides and beautiful insights. And it just reinforced what I teach. And I felt so comfortable listening to him teach about this. So what I'm offering you is a combination of my stuff and that's been enhanced and has a layer of Ryan magic and his magic in this. So thank you, Ryan. Many blessings. So what we're talking about again is emotional fear. I'm not talking about danger. When you're in danger, when there's a gun, when there's a knife, when there's a fist coming at you, when there's real danger, listen to the fear telling you to get the heck out of there, to run away, to pick up a weapon. Like that fear in those moments, I'm not talking about that. I also want to make a little comment here for people who are having emotional fear to a level of debilitation that may need psychological therapy, like real professional therapy and help longer than a 20 or 30-minute video is going to provide. So this is not instead of seeking that kind of help if you are gripped in a deeper emotional fear than what this video is designed to help you do. So I want you to hear me, okay? I'm talking about that momentary fear or even that low burn of fear that stops you from doing positive things in your life, stops you from taking a risk that could support you, stops you from reaching out, stops you from getting started on that book, stops you from saying, hey, I'd really like to be the one who does that. That's what I'm talking about, where there is no danger. And we'll get into why do we think there is if there isn't. So ultimately, ultimately, all fear is about one fear, and that is the fear of death. Death. Good morning. Thank you for joining me. Fear of death. It's the amygdala, which is a part of your limbic brain system that is trying to keep you safe. That's its job. And we don't want to disengage it. That's its job. It's doing its job beautifully. It's designed to show us what is dangerous, to give us a heightened awareness when danger is present, to run or to do whatever we have to do in order to be safe, in order to avoid pain. We'll come back to that, in order to avoid pain. So the limbic system is a part of the brain that's involved in regulating your behavioral and emotional responses, especially when it comes to behaviors that we need for survival. Survival. So reproduction, feeding our young, feeding ourselves, and also the fight, flight, or freeze response when danger is present. There's a fourth one called fawning, and I'm going to cover that next week in the Hump Day Happy Chat, because it is a part of a fear response. So we're going to cover fear again next week, but we're going to cover the fawn. So the limbic brain is responsible for your emotions, your memories, and arousal. And in this case, I'm not talking about sexual arousal, erotic arousal. I'm talking about the heightened awareness of arousal, where you see the ears of an animal when it knows that, like an animal that's prey, that it knows the predator is near. You'll see horses have their ears go boop, come forward, pin them back. You'll see deer raise their heads, stop chewing, rabbits freeze. That's the limbic brain. That's what's going on. It's part of our sympathetic nervous system. It is going to do what it does without us thinking about it. It comes into action on our behalf. So this is where, when I say make peace with fear, it's because it's happening for you. Your brain has engaged to let you know there's something that's threatening. And then you get the chance to respond rather than react. So potential to cause death. What things cause death? So we may have had a situation with the parents, the parental unit, as I call them, the parental unit. So we worry when we're young. We don't want to do anything to alienate the parents because we know that we need them for survival. So we are afraid of doing things that alienate the parents. That could cause death. So we try to get along. We try to do what is expected. We do parent pleasing, the things that parents expect of us in order to keep their love, and protection. Protection. Fear of death can be inside the fear of rejection. The brain tells us that if we are rejected, we're outside the community, the tribe. In old days, the tribe was how we stayed safe. When there are things that preyed on humans, saber-toothed tigers, dinosaurs, and the like, when there are things around that can cause death to the human vessel says, stay in the group, stay with the collective. So fear of rejection is about being outside the group, being ostracized by the group, being less than to be a part of the group. Fear of rejection is about not belonging, when we very much want to belong and actually believe that survival is predicated on belonging. There's also fear of the unknown. Fear of the unknown. So that looking around the corner, what are we going to see? People talk about the light in the tunnel. That light in the tunnel, when you get close enough, it's a train coming at you at 400 miles an hour. So that's that fear of what I don't know may be carrying what is designed to kill me. Again, fear of death. Inside change, there's this idea that death can come. And it's why change can be so difficult, this unknown that is a part of making the change actually come to fruition. And then, of course, physical harm, physical pain, because they ultimately, eventually lead to death. So notice how all of this is fear of death. And also, wrapped up in here, there's a tiny little fear of life. Fear of living to our fullest, because when I'm living to my fullest, I'm risking all of those. Think about it. Your parents want you to do or be one thing, you want to do or be something else. If you go off and do it, you're risking alienating them. You're risking death in that relationship, not death to you, but death in that relationship. You're fearing the group saying you no longer can be one of us because you decided to go do that thing. So you're living living the life at the greatest level, the highest vibe level, the bliss level can actually activate these fears because you're operating outside the protection that these fears trigger that you need. So there's a biological dynamic in fear. The brain, so the limbic brain system with the amygdala and the nervous system are telling us to stay safe so that we don't risk our lives. We don't risk becoming dead. I will avoid subconsciously, I'm avoiding anything that will cause harm or death. And in fact, it can be more powerful than my desire to go for my dreams. That's what I've seen in my life, that I have played small. And there have been situations in retrospect that I look back and go, wow, that was a big show-stopping action based on fear. And for me, a lot was about belonging as a soul incarnated into a Black body with imprinting from ancestors epigenetically, from living elders in my community, the fear-based system around what it means to survive as a Black person in the United States through my younger years, formative years especially, created identity markers around fear, and living my life to the fullest might actually bring on pain and death because of part of the identity of who I was. And so in this mindset of fear protecting me from death, and also fear being a safe haven that prevents me from living my life to the fullest, fear of living my life to the fullest because it could bring death. I'm one of those who hasn't necessarily gone fully after my dreams. I allowed the fear to overwhelm me. So does fear serve you or stop you? My fear has stopped me over and over by helping me avoid situations that might bring a negative outcome. So Ryan and I both talk about, I have a whole section in my book, and I'm a practitioner of heart math. And we both talk about the head versus the heart, and how the head, as powerful as it is designed to do something that actually can keep us out of living our most magnificent life, touching, experiencing, marinating in the bliss that we really want, the bliss that we're here to find and experience. So the head versus the heart. The head, very analytical, processes, sorts, remembers, categorizes. It's fear-based though. The head pushes us to safe and predictable situations that have a more controlled environment, because the head is trying to make sure we survive another day. So it can be very primitive, but it's living in the 21st century. So in your here and now, surviving another day is not the same as it was when this imprinting of the limbic brain may have happened epigenetically in your ancestral past. Get that? So it's trying to keep you safe in a controlled environment. And the question is, what's the definition of the safe, controlled, predictable environment today for you that serves you rather than stops you? Fear is not bad or wrong. How you engage with it is what's most important. It's paramount. So the heart is love-based, and not romantic love, unconditional love. The love of the energy of the all that is. Aligning with the heart is aligning with the oneness. It's putting you in the place where your most magnificent life is the most possible. And in that place, fear is absent. You're not choosing between love and hate. You're choosing between love and fear. Love and fear. unconditional love and situational emotional fear. So the love-based heart wants to explore, it wants to expand, it wants to experience you in different scenarios so that you can get practice at being and expressing and experiencing more what? More love, more unconditional love. That's what your life is supposed to be about. The fact that you're feeling fear and anxiety and worry is sort of natural. And you have the capacity to get superiority over your fear. That's called transcending and including. Transcend while you include means you take that part of you that has created the fear. So fear stops us doing what it's designed to do. Sympathetic nervous system kicks in to get us out of the danger zone. We have this inner struggle because there's a part of us, the heart, that is doing its darndest to get us to go further in experiencing love. And we also have this powerful brain that has this memory bank of situations where those fears came up: fear of losing the parents, fear of losing the tribe, fear of the unknown and what it could bring in terms of death, fear of physical pain. All those things are stored up here. They're supposed to be. That's what it does. We don't want to denigrate ourselves for what we naturally do. So what comes up is we have this struggle inside ourselves. I should be going forward, but I'm afraid. Oh my God. And then there's another layer, the ugly layer of judgment, guilt, and shame that we put on ourselves because we got stopped by our fear. The natural thing that our brain automatically does. Do you see the silliness, the kookiness? Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Another one. We're getting into it now. Layering on top of a natural response to certain situations that was created by the past experiences of real situations, emotional traumas and dangers and things that we interpreted. We have this idea that we're bad or wrong. You're not bad, you're not wrong, you're not weak. You're just growing your ability. You're training those memory banks. You're strengthening your muscle. You're sharpening your saw at how to transcend and include, how to feel the fear and move forward anyway. That's called courage. How do you activate that within you? We'll get there in a minute. So one of the things that I love about Ryan Magic and his core methodology and the way that he talks about fear is that he has data, a lot of data. And one of the pieces of data that I learned from Ryan is about these clusters of neurons. And it explains why it's so natural for us to come up with a fear response. And here it is. There are 15 clusters of neurons in your spinal column that activate the sympathetic nervous system, which says death is near. 15 clusters saying, danger, Will Robinson, danger, 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 Valerie, get out of here, danger, Valerie, get out of here. 15. Contrast that with 6 clusters of neurons in the spinal column that activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which says all is well. You are safe. It's okay, Valerie. Take that big step forward. Take that big leap forward. Start your next book. Go live. Create your TV show. Whatever that may be, reach out to get that romance going. Move to a new country to explore living abroad. These are just some of the things that I have been able to trace have been laden with fear. Decisions that I've made that are the result of the 15 clusters of neurons overruling the 6 clusters of neurons. So you can see that in a way, in the way of our physiology, we are hardwired to avoid harm of loss of resources, love, money, and danger, threats that cause pain or death. And so why is that a part of our life? If it stops us from living the most magnificent life, why is it here? Well, because it serves us in certain situations. And through self-mastery, we learn how to be superior to the momentary fear that comes up, even if it comes up with every single step. Some quotes that I like about fear: don't let fear of what could happen make nothing happen. I didn't find an attribution to that, so I'm going to say, and I don't know with whose quote that is, but I love it. Don't let fear of what could happen make nothing happen. That's been me. If this is you, just breathe into it. Feel that little inner child, that inner place of fear. Oh, I feel a big wave. Allow yourself to feel it. Say the words. There have been times in my past when the fear of what could happen stopped me and made nothing happen. And there's nothing wrong here. Take another deep breath. Feel that energy shift a little. Here's another quote from W. Clement Stone. Thinking will not overcome fear, but action will. Thinking will not overcome fear, but action will. So what does this bring up? Think about analysis paralysis. Have you ever been looking at a situation, weighing the pros and the cons and the he says and the she says and the I think and the I don't know, and then lo and behold, months have gone by and you've done nothing? I have. That was fear of the unknown. That was fear of making a mistake, which means I might get rejected. Fear of showing that I don't really have the answers, which means I might be ostracized and put out from the community. Death of the relationships. So say these words. Take a deep breath. Yes, I have been in analysis paralysis in my past. I have let thinking stop me from taking action. I forgive myself. Nothing is wrong here. Feel the energy. One last one. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is feeling the fear and taking the action anyway. That is the place of getting superiority over the fear, where it can coexist and you can thank it for its presence in your life. Thank it, lean in. Thank it for its presence in your life. It's your brain. Thank it and call your heart into the superior position to take the brain's reasoning and logic and apply it differently in service to the heart's magnificence. So what did we just do? First thing is breathing. Did you notice the first thing I did? Breathe. You're oxygenating the brain, oxygenating the blood. When we're in fear mode, we tend to contract and we constrict. And the very thing we need to make good decisions, to actually become mindful and to see what's happening with us, the very thing we need, oxygen, we restrict it. So loosen up, lean back, open your chest, take a couple of deep breaths, preferably equalizing the in-breath and the exhale, 5 beats each time, and allow yourself to oxygenate your blood and your brain so that you're better able to walk through the situation in a superior, higher vibration position than is fear. Lean in, get curious about the feelings in your body, get curious about where they came from, get curious about what they're triggering, what memories they're triggering, what they're reminding you of or telling you about you. Oh, in situations with this kind of people, I remember something from my past and fear comes up to stop me from engaging. And then you can make a decision in this present moment. There's nothing to be afraid of. That thing that happened back there is not what's happening right here. So breathe, lean in with curiosity, and then cultivate mindfulness, mindful relationship with the fear I'm feeling. In that curiosity, what's really going on? What am I really afraid of? Be willing to name what you're really afraid of. That takes the mystery out of it, the unknown out of it. Oh, right now, I'm afraid of being vulnerable because I really like this person and I want them to like me back. And I'm afraid that when they really get to know me, they might find out there's some things in here they don't particularly like. And I don't want that to happen. I don't know how to deal with that. But right here, right now, all I can do is just say hello. I can just lean in. I can learn that it's okay to be me. This fear of intimacy into me. See, I will not let it stop me. And it's okay if someone doesn't like what they see when they get to know me. They just aren't mine. And there are plenty more that could be. So you're cultivating a mindful relationship. Mindful means you're getting to the layers below that knee-jerk reaction of run away. The knee-jerk reaction. So one of the tools that I teach is the 5 whys, which I learned in my corporate experience, believe it or not, but it works really beautifully in the emotional experience and the understanding you, the self-awareness, self-acceptance, self-love. So I wonder why. I'm uncomfortable saying this. I wonder why. Then you get one layer below that. I wonder why. I wonder why. Until you get down to the base. Oh, I'm really just afraid of living my life at the fullest because I might be killed. The 5 whys, cultivating your relationship. And then evaluating evidence in the moment today. What is the evidence that you are really in danger and therefore should fight, flight, freeze, or fawn? So confront the fearful thoughts in love, not in anger and retribution. The fearful thoughts are your friend. So how do you have a conversation with them and love them into submission to the superiority of the heart? Did you get it? You have what you need already inside you. It's just a matter of coming into a relationship with it where you're optimizing how this magnificence that you are is in service to what you are here to be on the planet. And I can tell you, the primary objective, your primary directive, is to be love, to experience yourself being, expressing, experiencing love. And when you come into right relationship of your fear, so that you know how it can serve you and it doesn't stop you, you are available to be more, to express more, and to experience more love every moment. So that's it. That is today's Hump Day Happy Chat. Thank you for joining me. Remember, if you have questions, please put them in the thread and the comments. I love coming back and seeing how I can serve you at a deeper level. Remember that your life is happening for you. It's to give you an opportunity to change your expression of you. And when we take that opportunity, we tend to find that there are things that we're doing, saying, being, believing, thinking habitually, habitual patterns of practice in those areas that aren't serving us. Nonetheless, you're still doing it. You cannot experience bliss, which is high, high, high vibration, when you're living in a low vibration run by fear, anxiety, worry, protection, division. Can't happen. Come into right relationship with this magnificent energy of fear and what's inside of it that is for you, not against you. Thanks very much. And I always close the Hump Day Happy Chat with the Karanaya Metta Sutra, the prayer of loving kindness from the Buddha. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings awaken to the light of their true nature. Know it, be it. And may all beings be free, emotionally free of the past, of low consciousness, low vibration things that have kept you running in your life. May you be free. Many blessings. Thank you for joining me in the Hump Day Happy Chat. See you next time.